everyone, welcome back to my channel, Lori J Journals. I'm here with week 2 of Craft Right for the Savage Art Facebook group. Last week we did I did just some random creative work with a reflection in my journal. And this week we're going to do something a little bit different. I don't want to spend too much time over explaining. I'd like to keep this video tight. But as a reminder, this is just a weekly, we're not even calling it a challenge because it's really just weekly me time for you to craft and write in the midst of the craziness of the holiday season. You can craft in your own journal. You can craft to make something for somebody else. It's really up to you. But there's no challenge in that we're not having any contests or prizes or anything like that. And there's no requirement to post. You are creating for yourself. Okay, so this is the spread that I did last week. This week, we're going to try something a little bit different. So I would venture to say that many of you out there think that you are not poets, that you can't write poetry, or you've never been good at it, or you have misconceptions of what it really means to be a poet. And today I am going to share with you 2 of my favorite small structured poems so that you can create and write poems and be inspired. Again, there's no rules here, so you can create and then write. You can write and then create. I think I am going to create and then write, but I'm not 100% certain yet. Let me share with you first the structures we're going to use. So for the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write a haiku. Okay, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with a haiku, I would bet that almost everyone out there learned this when you were in grade school. This is one of the kind of the simpler, shorter poems. They're usually inspired by nature, though they don't have to be. And it's a 3-line poem, okay? First line has 5 syllables. Second line has 7 syllables. Third line has 5 syllables again. And for those of you who find it too challenging to count syllables, or you're really struggling, though I highly recommend you try this first. But if you're struggling, you can do an alternate system, which would be 5 words, 7 words, 5 words, okay? But let's try for the syllables, all right? Again, haiku are they're Japanese poems, and they're usually inspired, like traditionally they were inspired by nature or change of season, but modern day, people write haikus about everything, okay? When I think of nature, I think of seasons. I've mentioned this before, I feel really blessed that I live in Florida this time of year. As the seasons are changing, it's starting to get cold. We're entering winter season. We have a chill in the air here in Florida, but it's nothing compared to what some of you are experiencing in other places. And I feel that that I can play with nature in Florida right now. So I brought out a whole bunch of kind of jelly printed and painted papers, mostly deli papers, but some others that remind me of nature in Florida, which is blue and green, right? Skies, ocean, plant life. And I thought that I would do a little bit of collaging. And I brought out 2 tags. One's this really big tag, which I thought would be fun. And I thought I might create a pocket on the large tag and put the smaller tag inside. But before I do that, I want to collage. I'm going to do my haiku, I think, on this small tag. And actually, I think to change it up a little, because I created last time and then wrote, I think I'm going to try to do a little bit of the writing ahead of time. And then just to show you that I can reverse the process and you can do the same. Again, haiku, 5 syllables. then 7, then 5. So my first line is going to have 5 syllables. I'm thinking about ocean, cool breezes, sunny skies. I think there's a country song, and we often say the sunny in 75. It's like perfect. So actually, that might be an idea. Sunny is 2 syllables. Sunny, and 75. Nope, that's 6. But I could do sunny, 75. Without getting into a whole lesson on syllabication, let me count these out. Sunny, 75. Actually, that doesn't work because that is 6 syllables. But maybe I can use this as my middle sentence. Sunny and 75. And I think that works. Sunny and 75. 7. So this is going to be my second sentence. Sunny and 75. So here we go. Here's my Florida winter. Right? Florida is 3 syllables. Winter is 2. So this is 5. This is my first sentence. Florida winter, sunny and 75. I think I like blue skies. That's 2. Blue skies. Warm breezes. Okay, so I have Florida winter. That's 5 syllables. Sunny and that's 3. 75. That's 4. So that's 7 syllables altogether. And blue skies, warm breezes. That's 5. So there I've got my haiku. See how quickly that comes together? Florida winter, sunny and 75. Blue skies, warm breezes. And just like that, I've got a haiku. So I'm going to start. I thought it would be fun to use some of these papers to collage. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to just start moving these papers around. I might have some scraps up here to do. Oops, I think this glue stick is dead. Let's try another one. Not as much my favorite, this tacky glue stick, but prefer the Yoo-Hoo, but we'll use this one. It's okay. And I'm just going to play around with papers. And I can always trim the edges. I'm not going to get too out of hand. So this dark blue one down here reminds me of the ocean. It also reminds me of the color of my son's eyes. He has beautiful blue eyes, and they're real deep like this. We almost thought they weren't going to stay blue, but they did, thanks to his grandparents. My husband and I both have dark brown eyes, and my son has blue eyes because both his grandfathers have blue eyes, so he lucked out. This was like a leftover. I don't really remember how this came about, but I love this kind of green striations. Again, when you think of Florida, you get like that green and blue. In fact, the local university down here in Fort Myers is called Florida Gulf Coast University. I actually did my advanced degree there, and their colors are blue and green. Florida Gulf Coast University. the Eagles. If you're a basketball fan, you might have heard of Dunk City a few years back. That was when our little known team made the college basketball Sweet 16, which is really exciting. All right. Let's see what else we've got. I love this one. This actually kind of reminds me of the Caribbean, the color of the water. Actually, in the Gulf a little bit too. We live in Fort Myers. We don't live on the Atlantic Ocean like you think of when you think of Florida. We live on the Gulf side, the west side of the peninsula. And we get Gulf waters. Which incidentally, unfortunately, is also the reason we get slammed by these Gulf storm hurricanes. And I wanted to use a little bit of this paint. Look, it's like glittery. So it reminds me, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. It was made with like glittery paints. And it reminds me a little bit of the way the ocean looks when the sun shines. I think I might sew over this when I'm finished. You could see I'm not getting too crazy, too particular. I actually thought I was going to put it down. Well, maybe I will. It's the thing about collaging is you can keep layering and layering. If you don't like the way a piece looks, you can just put something else over it. Like I tend to not like these straight edges in my collage, so I'll probably bring something else over. I was also noticing that I had some pieces in my scraps over here, kind of like this one. I might use that one too. A few of these from like layered paints. Hold on to those for a minute. Let's see if I can bring in another. Oh, here's another texture. This is mulberry paper. And it also, this I think was me just cleaning my brayer when I was making some jelly prints. So and again, you know, collage is another one of those like kind of fun flow activities. And if you allow yourself to get too hung up on what's going where and what piece you need, it kind of takes away from it. So I try not to overthink things too much. I do like this piece. But I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if this glue stick is going to be the right. This paper is a little bit heavier. To get it to stick, I might need to put a little bit of liquid glue. Oh, maybe not. All right. I think it's going to be all right. Okay. Getting close here. I don't know how I want to handle that part around here. See what I got. Actually, I think I know what I think I'm going to paint with that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's get a baby wipe, clean up a little bit before we. That's the thing about this tacky glue stick. It's the same brand as, you know, it's this. It's pretty tacky. So just want to clean up a little before I put that away. I don't want to ruin the other side of my tag either. If you leave too much glue on your surface, then you run into that problem where you worked real hard on one side of your tag or whatever you're working on, and then you flip something over and like, oh, I killed it. Well, which in any case, all you really have to do is put yet another layer on. All right, so I'm going to trim this up a little while I wait for my desk to dry from that baby wipe. So if you remember last week, we created first, right? We took a prompt, a favorite quote, a song lyric. I did a song lyric. I invited you to find some inspiring phrase. We took that phrase, we created, and then we wrote. This week, I wanted to show you that you can really do this in any order. Sometimes you have an idea of where you're going, like I did today. Of course, when I'm on camera, I have to plan a little bit more than what you might need to do. But I thought that I would show you writing first with the haiku. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do is I want to kind of paint in here just to close this up. And I'm not sure, I have this beautiful, let's see if I can make this work. Hopefully I won't make a colossal mess. It's golden liquid acrylic in turquoise, and I thought maybe what I could do. Well, first let's try to not make a mess. I swore to myself that the next time I use this, I would wear gloves so I didn't stain my hands. And then here I am not doing that. So I'm going to grab a glove. I do keep some handy. This is ink, high flow ink, not like thick viscous paint. So if, I'm thinking it might be is it brand new? This color might still have it is. No wonder it wasn't coming out. Look at how beautiful that color is. Look, you can see it on here. So pretty. All right. And these high flow, like liquid inks, they'll stain your hands more so than paint will. And I'm going to be really just kind of random about this. I don't love it already, but it's okay because, maybe if I put a little bit so that it looks more, yeah, that's okay. And then I can even I don't want to go too crazy with water because I just glued, and I don't want to ruin my, to have all my glue come up. All right, I think I kind of like that. I'm going to, let me see what I have handy. I'll just take one of my papers here. I just want to blot some of the dampness of the ink off. I'm going to very carefully close this ink and try not to get it all over my fingers. Let's take a piece of scrap fabric over here. Just wipe off the top. All right, good. Okay, and what I would do, like, honestly, if I thought that was too much, and I kind of think it is, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of, again, here's the layering, right? I'm going to take a tiny bit of white gesso. I'm going to put it on my fingers and just kind of smear it in. It lightens it up a little, adds a little bit more texture. And again, no rules, just kind of playing, seeing, go until you like it. If you're not happy with it, play some more, do another layer. But I think I kind of like this. And then kind of the next step really is, do I want to put the haiku right on this decorated side so that the other side can be used as a journal tag, right? Or so if I create the haiku here, then this side is available for journaling. If I put it in a journal for somebody else or gift it to somebody else, they would be able to write on it. If I put it in my journal, I would be able to do that. So I would have to, and remember, this haiku is really short, 3 lines. So I can really fit it on here pretty easily. I'm not going to lie. If I wasn't on camera, what I might do is actually type it out and print it. But like, okay, this is just an example. Okay. So if I print it on there, I can then glue this down on top. I could, and this would require writing kind of small. I could maybe take a piece of one of the lighter colors and write it on there and then glue that down. I really have a lot of options. Maybe this one. Let me just see. And I'll show you, I'm going to use a pen that I consider kind of magical. So let me just, I'm going to audition. Okay, I could do like this color. Or I could do this color. I think I like this one better. Okay, so I just have to keep it tight, right? Because I want it to be able to be no wider than this so that I can cut it out. In fact, I should probably do that ahead of time, and that way I can ensure that I know my spacing. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to use to write this is this glaze pen. I think I actually showed it on the last video. That's how much I love this. It's one of the few gel pens that you can write on top of already painted paper, which makes it just fantastic. All right, let's set the tag aside. I'm going to write my, and here's the thing. You can be like me and get totally hung up on your handwriting, or you could just go for it, okay? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try not to worry so much about my handwriting. I need to get on a better surface, so let me, here. And I'm realizing, by the way, that it's working, okay? I told you can write on any surface with these. It's wet. You kind of, it literally dries like a glaze. The reason I think I'm having trouble is actually not the paint, it's the paper. This is deli paper. And deli paper is really difficult to write on. So I'm going to change my mind here just so that, and I think I might use a piece of this. Yeah. What I really want is my paper cutter. Actually, this might blend in too much. All right, here we go, overthinking things. Let's just see. That might, I don't know. I just feel like it might take away too much. Let me make it smaller. Again, it's only 3 lines. It's not like it's, yeah, I think this will be okay. Let's see last case scenario, if the writing doesn't show up enough, then I'll just do it on white paper. All right, so let's try it again. We're going with my haiku. Yeah, here we go. So much better. Uh-oh. 75 is not going to fit in there. Let's see. I don't like that. I'll tell you why. I don't like that it goes on to the next line. I have to write smaller. I'm going to turn it over and do it one more time. Here we go. This is where your perfectionism can really get in the way, but it's okay. I'm going to do it again. And I still didn't fit it in. But it's okay. We're practicing. All right. My original haiku had blue skies, and I accidentally made a Y, so I just made it blue sky. Doesn't change the syllabication, so it still works. But let's see if it would look okay on here this way. I'm just a little concerned that this paper doesn't stand out enough. That's all. I'm not even going to stress about my handwriting because I can do it 100 times and not be happy with it. But I just don't know that it stands out enough, whereas this. But I don't love the way just this bland white paper looks either. But let's try one more. I am going to try one more on the white to see if it looks any better. And I can always paint the edges to make it blend in more. Okay, one more try. Here we go. Oh, I just stuck my finger in it. And they didn't fit it all in one line that time. But again, not going to worry too much. Yep, I think I like this better. It's okay that it blends in. It's better than the stark white. I'm not happy with the stark white, so let's trim this down. Try to get it a little bit straighter. My paper trimmer is out of reach, which is not good for me because, like my handwriting, I get a little hung up on straight lines. And the last thing I want to do, I think I'm going to soften the edges by, I might regret this. Let's see. All right, did it. Yeah, I'm good with it. And because I don't want to take out that really tacky glue stick again, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. The only reason I'm putting a little extra is because we've got texture underneath. I want to make sure it sticks. Now, another idea that I really like, but I don't have the materials handy, is I could have done it on vellum or something. You know, something that was a little more transparent. But I'm okay with this. I think the other thing I want to do is sew on it. The only thing about sewing on it is I always find, you know, then you have your string on the outside, on the flip side, which means you've got to put a writing surface back on the tag, right? So if I sewed all on this, then the back of this tag, you can't write on it because it has thread all running through it. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave it alone for now. I'll add some, what do I have here? Trying to see if I have some stuff handy to add a string to it or something, but I don't. I don't think that'll fit through. All right, so I'll do this later. What I want to do before I finish is I want to show you another poem structure, okay? Because this is about crafting and writing, right? And this one, I'm going to use the big one. This is called a nonette. And non meaning 9. It's a 9-line poem, and each line drops 1 in syllables. So the first line is 9 syllables, the second is 8, the third is 7, all the way down until you get to your last line, which is 1 syllable, usually a 1-syllable word, like love or something like that. So I am going to attempt to write one on camera. This will not be easy. Like the haiku, I'm going to have to count syllables. I'm going to have to think a little bit. So let's see. So I did that one about nature. Let's take this time of year is, we wanted to do some reflection with this activity. So let's do something related to love, family, thankfulness, appreciation, whatever you want to do. Remember, we're going to start with 9 syllables and then work our way down. Again, if you struggle with the syllabication, try it with words. 9 words, then 8 words, then 7 words. And so, of course, if you think about it, a nonette is going to come down to a funnel because you're going to have the most syllables or words at the top, and then you're going to have a single one at the bottom. So it kind of creates this cone. So it's great. You could put one on a coffee filter, like the way that shape is, or if you have something else that's cone shaped or that tapers at the bottom, you can do that. So here we go. I'm going to start with 9 syllables. Let's see. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to start writing and then count. I'm not even going to use holidays. Let's start there. Family and friends gather. That's 7 syllables. I need 2 more. Let's use the word around. That'll make 9 syllables. Okay, so that's 9. Now 8. I think that might do it. 1, celebrate. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I need 1 more. To celebrate the season's joy. So that's 9, 8. Let's go with 7. Let's see. Songs and cheer, goodies and sweets, that's 7. Let's see, 6. That's 6. Thankful for each other. Perfect. 5. Um, mm, whoops. Let's see. I'm going to change this out because that's what happens when you write poetry. You find word order. You like things differently. So I'm going to say laughing gleefully. Children playing. Together. And you can do Christmas joy or okay, family and friends gather around to celebrate the season's joy. Songs and cheer, goodies and sweets, thankful for each other. Laughing gleefully, children playing together. Christmas joy. Yeah, that'll do it. 987, that's a nonette. So let me, so for this one, so this is a long one, right? You know, I feel like this could be I didn't bring papers over to decorate this one, but I feel like what I would want to do is maybe make a shaker card at the bottom. So I was starting to work on this and I had some painting issues I didn't like, and I kind of cut this away, but I feel like I can work on this some more. This is watercolor. You know, I feel like now I have to figure out what I did with my Christmas shaker stuff. Let me think really quickly what I did with it. I have Christmas trees and presents that I was using to make shaker cards. And I'm not sure where I stored it. Let's see, I'm going to get up for just a second and see if I can find it. I don't want this video to go much longer. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Off camera, I'm going to finish the big tag. I'm going to put my nonette on it, and I'll show it to you in a picture, okay? So here are the two poems again, so that if you want to try them yourself, I'm going to shift us down here. so you can capture it. I hope that you'll try this because everyone can write poetry, especially structured poetry. So create and write and create, craft write in December. And yeah, have a good week, everyone. Thanks for watching.